Hey, it's me, Deet. I'm currently recording this unscripted and sick, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there while the news is still hot. So recently I went and caught up on Jason Aaron's Punisher run that's been going on, the one where they made Punisher a ninja and they changed his logo, which made a lot of people angry, and I didn't care for it. I actually thought it was pretty bad the first couple issues when it started, but catching up on it, it's good. It's pretty good. It's one of the best books in Marvel. That's not saying much because every comic over there right now sucks. The other day I was reading the new Deadpool with my friends, and it was really just lame. But Jason Aaron's a guy I have very mixed opinions on. I didn't really care for the Thor stuff he did and a lot of his other comics, but I really did love his Punisher Max run. It was one of my favorite Punisher runs, even though it felt like Garth Ennis fan fiction. It was really well done. So I was interested when it was announced that he was coming back to the Punisher. The whole over-politicization of the entire run turned me off, and it's not that political. There's the line best where he says, the Punisher says, the best way to carve up a Nazi, and of course the entire thing is positing that the war didn't turn Frank into the Punisher, that he was just the Punisher all along, which but I'll say the best stuff in the comic currently is the stuff where it's the flashbacks to when the Punisher was a kid. Those are the most interesting things about the character, and where not Donny Cates I would really hate if Donny Cates was writing this, but Jason Aaron's writing is really at its peak, exploring both the Punisher and his wife. Now when we cut back to him at the Hand and being a ninja, it is really silly and really stupid. It can be fun. What I like about the Punisher and Punisher comics, which I might make an entire video about Punisher comics, because I have a lot to say about it. Punisher is one of my all-time favorite characters, and I think he's a great way to develop stories and explore different themes such as nationalism and violence, what it really means to be evil, and like, can somebody truly deserve to die, and why so? And there isn't really that much interesting going on here, though there's a lot of hand-waving talks about religion and prayer and like gods, but it doesn't really go that in depth. The more interesting stuff is the relationship between Frank and his wife in the flashbacks. Also, the art's a lot, well, it's not better. I still like the main art for the main story. I think that art's really good, but the stuff going back to the past is way more stylistic and interesting. I like the art. It can be pretty fun, but isn't what I consider like beautiful, though it's very detailed, I'd say. And there's some interesting things going on in the story. The reason I even bothered to go through it after like I looked at the last issue, because everyone was talking about it, and I was like, nah, this ain't for me. But I saw just a screenshot of the Punisher saying, take the broken pieces of the dagger, I want to recast them into bullets, which I was like, okay, I gotta check this out. My biggest problem is the superpowers angle, that the Hand is giving Frank superpowers, like he can fly now, he's this demon-powered guy. But there is a really interesting scene where in the last issue, you see him with the guns back and fully demon-powered with wings. The reason this is important is back in the 90s, during the Marvel Knights era, they made Punisher an angel, an avenging angel with laser guns. It was really stupid, and when Garth Ennis got his run started with Welcome Back Frank, the first issue has this entire monologue about how he was an angel once and he got offered into heaven, and he could see his family again, and he refused it.
He brought me up from heaven to see what I'd be missing: a wife, a son, a daughter, all finally at peace. I hadn't seen them since they bled out my arms. Then I was cast down, back to a world of killers, rapists, psychos, perverts, a brand new evil every minute, spewed out as fast as men can think them up. A world where pitching a criminal dwarf off a skyscraper to tell his fellow scum you're back is a sane and rational act. Welcome back, Frank, says New York City.
Well, the thing is now he kinda has his family back, and he's like this evil angel. I don't know if Jason Aaron made that intentional, this connection, or maybe it's just because I'm a Punisher nerd I'm seeing this, but it's interesting. I might want to do an entire critique of the entire comic one day. But no, it's interesting, I'll say. I'm excited to see what happens with it. Though I think the whole volatile anger at everybody over the comic can turn people off. It's definitely better than anything else that's being published right now in Marvel. I just hope they don't completely screw it up. But I'm enjoying it so far. There's some other things. The whole plot is that he's going to war with Ares. Like, he got adopted by the Hand, which are ancient ninjas, but he's going to war with Ares, who's god of war, and he's wearing the original Punisher insignia, and at the last issue he becomes the new god of war, which is very silly. I bring this up because I really hope that at the end of this storyline, Frank's wife dies again, and he turns himself back into regular Punisher. But I'm very scared that they might use this to make Frank a superpowered figure in the Marvel Universe. Hey, it's Editing Date here. No, they do not have any plans. This is part of a 13-issue miniseries that I don't think most people realize is part of a miniseries. So I'm definitely guaranteeing by the end of this he does not keep his powers and just goes back to regular Punisher. But so far it's pretty good. It's not great. It's like a 6 or a 7 in terms of quality scale, but I just really hope they don't screw this up. But yeah, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll do a video on Punisher comics in the future. I have a lot to say about Garth Ennis and his Punisher comics, and I have a lot to say about the Punisher as a character and the whole politics of it all. But as for now, I've been Deet, and thanks for listening to me ramble unscripted about the new Punisher comic.